Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Packers 101. And today is all about the Green Bay Packers. So, we're going to go through the Packers schedule, every single game, and I'm going to give my prediction right now on whether I think it's a win or a loss, and we'll see where the Packers end up at the end of the season. Keep in mind, I'm going to keep this kind of short and sweet. I'm not going to go into too much analysis as the season hasn't even started yet, so there isn't too much to break down. So week one, it's the Packers at the Bears in Soldier Field. I see the Packers winning this game. I don't think that the Bears are ready yet. While the offense for the Bears is good, I'm not a fan of that defense, and I think the Packers make improvements with Joe Barry. I think the offense looks decent, and I think it's enough to beat the Bears in a close game. So the Packers pick up the win week one. Week two, we got the Packers against the Falcons in Atlanta. And this game, I see the Packers losing. I think that the Falcons made a lot of good offseason pickups. It's in Atlanta. I think that the Packers don't get out to a 2-0 start. I think they struggle a little bit. So I see the Falcons picking up the win in week two. Week three, it's Saints against the Packers in Lambeau Field, and I see the Packers losing this game as well. The Saints had the addition of Derek Carr. They still have Alvin Kamara. They might get Michael Thomas back. Who knows? And the Saints defense is still good. I don't think the Packers are going to put it together early in the season. I think they'll figure it out more towards the end. And the Saints are the more experienced team. I see them winning this one. Week four, we have the Lions against the Packers in Lambeau. And in this game, I'm going to give it to the Packers just barely. It's in Lambeau. That's pretty much the only reason why. The Lions, I do think, will win the division, but in this game, I see the Packers winning it. Up next is the Packers at the Raiders, and this will be a fun game. Devontae Adams coming back. The Raiders, I don't think they're headed in the right direction. Josh McDaniels, not a good coach. Jimmy Garoppolo, downgrade from Derek Carr. So I see the Packers winning this one. I really do. Up next is the Packers at the Broncos, and I see the Broncos winning this one. Again, Broncos adding Sean Payton, very good pickup, and I think that the Broncos are going to have a good season. And the Packers, I still think the offense will look inconsistent with Jordan Love at this point. What the offense is going to look like with Jordan Love, we really don't know yet. While I think it's going to be good, no way of knowing for sure. This is Jordan Love's first year starting. He's obviously going to have some hiccups, so I think the Broncos win this one. Up next is the Vikings at the Packers in Lambeau Field. I think this one's easy. I think the Packers win it. I don't see the Vikings having a very good year at all. I think that defense is going to be terrible, and the Packers defense will be pretty good. And offensively, yes, the Vikings are better, but I don't think it's enough to cover for that bad defense. And Kirk Cousins is due a few bad games a year. This is probably one of them. So with this game, give me the Packers. Up next, we got the Rams at the Packers, and I'm actually going to pick the Rams for this one. I think that Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp are going to be better, have a better connection than they had last year. Cooper Kupp got injured for a bunch of games, so he missed some time. Matt Stafford had the elbow injury, he wasn't the same. I think the Rams, while they're not as good as their Super Bowl year, they're a lot better, and I think that they have enough to beat the Packers this year. So the Rams win this one. Up next, we got the Packers at the Steelers, and I'm actually going to pick the Packers here. I think this is a close game, but I think the Packers defense shuts down the Steelers offense. So I definitely see the Packers winning this one, even though it's in Pittsburgh. I like Green Bay here. Up next, we got the Chargers at the Packers, and this one is pretty easy. It's an L for the Packers. I hate to say it. I really hate to say that the easiest thing to see here is the Packers losing, but the Chargers I think are on another level. Justin Herbert, amazing QB. They got a good offense and their defense is coming along. Packers, I don't think they're ready to hang with the Chargers yet, so Chargers take this one. Up next, another easy one, unfortunately. You got the Chiefs against the Packers in Lambeau Field. And obviously, the Packers are losing this one. Mahomes and Kelsey, that's pretty much all the reason you need. Yeah, the Packers aren't competing with the Chiefs this year. It's not in the cards, unfortunately. After that, we got the Packers at the Giants, and I'm going to take the Packers in this one. I think that the Packers offense will start to look more consistent at this point in the season. I think the run game is going to be good, and I think the Packers defense is going to be top 10, maybe even top 5. And the Giants, while I think they have a good year, I think this is a game that they drop. So give me the Packers against the Giants this week. Next up, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers heading into Lambeau to take on the Green Bay Packers. And this one I think is pretty easy. I'm going with the Packers. The Buccaneers, they lost Tom Brady. They didn't look very good last year. They lost Leonard Fournette. That defense, while it was still good, it wasn't the same as it was the year prior. The O line for that team, they were decimated with injury. So maybe with some returning starters, they get better. But I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think the Buccaneers are that good this year. So give me the Packers here. Up next, we got the Packers heading into Carolina to take on the Panthers. I think this is an easy one. The Packers beat the Panthers. Well, yes, the Panthers traded and got Bryce Young. They also gave away DJ Moore. Bad move in my opinion. I think DJ Moore is a great receiver. No Christian McCaffrey anymore. No Devontae Foreman either. I'm not even sure who the running back is for Carolina, but definitely not to the level of those two. So I think this one is easy. Green Bay clears this one. I think they beat the Panthers, and I think they beat them quite handily. Up next, we got the Packers heading into Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Same result as before. I think the Packers beat the Vikings fairly easily. Same reason. Your defense isn't good. You're not going to be able to win a lot of games with it. So Packers win this one. And the final game of the season is the Bears heading in the Lambeau Field to take on the Packers. I again think that this is a close game, but the Packers win it. And the Packers, I don't like the Bears defense. I really don't. I think that a lot of people are overhyping it with the signing of T.J. Edwards and Terrell Edmunds. I don't think that's enough to change what it was last year. The secondary's okay. They got Jalen Johnson. Not really a fan of anyone else back there. Kyler Gordon's okay, I guess. I'm not really a fan of Eddie Jackson either. I don't think he's as good as advertised. So I see the Packers being able to throw and run on that defense, especially with the Bears D line. There's no one really that notable on it. So it's all going to be up to the offense, and I don't think it's going to be able to compensate for the bad defense. So give me Green Bay in the last week of the NFL season. So with that, I have the Packers finishing 10-7 and just barely making the playoffs. I don't think they win the division. I think Detroit will take the division, but I do see the Packers having a somewhat decent season at 10-7. Anyway, those are my predictions for the Packers this season. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments. Am I incredibly biased for picking the Packers to go 10-7 after the first year without Aaron Rodgers? Maybe. I think that my picks are fair, but maybe I'm not seeing everything. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy this video and have a good day. See ya.